and we're recording the cloud. And welcome everybody. Thanks for being here. Um, I we started out with a little kind of free talk, and I hear there's some low energy, and it's a Tuesday that feels like Thursday, etc. Everybody's been busy. I saw Susie dancing the other night on Friday night at opening, and I heard Catherine had a record crowd last night at the business launch or the business conversation. And so we're going to do a little bit of catch up. It's a kind of informal night tonight. I do want to catch up on some projects and do a little planning with you all as we're heading here into really, the last 4 months, right? The last third of the year for the artists in residence. We're just getting started with the catalog, so that's just beginning. Brian and I met today and started doing a lot of thinking on the Daisy Art Parade strategy, looking toward next year. So lots of good things, and it does feel like we're hitting a little bit of a transition, and maybe that's because of the it's warming up outside, and we're really getting into the real green season because I can look behind Molly and see leaves on trees, and there's some art that she painted on her. Is that your shed, Molly?
That's my neighbor's shed.
Did you paint it?
Yeah, they let me. They're very cool. They let me paint their side of the shed because it's in my yard. So my shed
That's
right there, that's my studio back there.
nice.
Yeah, yeah,
Nice.
that's my little studio space. So
Excellent.
two sheds.
Well, Molly's setting the example for us. So we're doing a little description tonight. Let's just go around since we're a small group, talk about where we are and how it illustrates what's happening in our lives right now. So Molly's creative in every direction, including across the fence in the neighbor's yard, apparently. Yeah. Let's see. So, Catherine, where are you?
Uh, so where am I? I'm catching up to this conversation about being unusually tired. So I think things are catching up with me. But I'm really grateful for the folks who did come out for our third talk. I mean, I took notes. I really want to follow up on some of the ideas and the suggestions and the common themes that come up from all of the different talks and some real specific thoughts. I keep remembering Rachel Ann had a great suggestion on the very first meeting that I've been bringing up, and everyone's like, yes, yes, nodding their heads like that's a great idea. I want to thank Joy for being my helper with that project because it is tricky making sure we can get in the building, and I have to be far away from where the entrance is. So she's been really wonderful to be kind of pitching in and helping out and making sure that goes smoothly. And then we had some wonderful attendance and lots of great ideas for that project. So that was great. And then I did also want to give a shout out to Davy Stewards, who hosted the Compost Fest over the weekend. And I gave a lot of catalogs out. And I do feel like whenever you are, I mean, I feel like being at an event like that was a great opportunity to just talk about what was possible. And he's got a great space. So I'm feeling like we're going to try to let him catch up. But I really want to sit down with him and his Harvest Collective partners and see what the neighborhood would support, even though it's kind of the end of the road. He has a lot of folks in the area that are part of his compost project.
Right.
So
Good.
that's my big projects.
Well, thanks, Catherine. Catherine, go right into it. Rachel Ann, where are you?
I am currently in my bedroom. I'm getting over a cold. So I've been sick all weekend. But I've been like telling myself, I need to like slow down and take a minute. And my body was like, okay, put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
So I've kind of just been giving myself time to rest. It's really hard. I hate sitting still. But it's been good, I guess. So I haven't been working on anything super recently, but I'm still doing some like pop-up markets and stuff, and I'm gearing up for the Little River Poetry Festival at the end of the month. And I've got a mural project in the works right now, so hopefully that's moving forward soon.
Oh, yeah, I have an update on that. I'll just go ahead and throw out there that the placemaking committee met today and put their stamp of approval on that. And that'll go forward to the Arts Commission, Tuesday, not next Tuesday, but the next following Tuesday. So
Awesome.
congratulations.
Thank
Rachel
you.
Ann's done a beautiful mural. We're gonna let her talk about that one. Maybe not, maybe after we get the Arts Commission's okay on it. We'll let Rachel Ann do a little presentation for us on her mural. And then what
Thanks.
do the letters behind you spell?
Oh, this is my neon sign. I can turn it on. It's not real neon, it's LED, but it just says girls, girls, girls on it and it's pink. But I can turn it on.
Oh, excellent. I
It's just
love
kind
it.
of distracting as like a background. If I can get it to go. There it is.
Oh, I see
There
the
it
glow.
is.
Oh yeah, there it is. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, Sky, where are you tonight? See, Sky, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Hi.
Yep.
I'm actually moved in Body Time. This is my new studio. I am enjoying my move out this way and setting up. As you can see, I got my little spot back here and just just changing everything and getting things set up, and it's a lot more peaceful environment. I can focus a lot more on my own personal artwork here, and I would really love to invite people to come out and maybe do a paint pours or just to see where my studio is. So that's a goal of mine. And I recently went through the open studios. I don't know how many of y'all got to see the wonderful art studios open for the open studios, but it was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. I got to attend quite a bit. And in fact, I got invited to apply for residency for the Bowers Center. So hopefully I might get accepted for that. That I know that it's very competitive. So we'll just see. But even if I don't get it, there's some things that I can, achieve and have some things just in case. So I am working on a very large pieces of tigers, and my own way of interpreting is probably loud and hot pink and crazy colors, but I could feel like I'm in a really safe space here to say what I need to say. And I have a tiny door, and I'm waiting to meet with Brian to give it to him soon. So I have it right here. If you want to take a look at it, I can go grab it and show it, or I can wait, Brian, if you want that. It's up to you.
I'd
So
love to see it if it doesn't take up
okay,
too much time. Yeah.
okay, yeah, sure. Be right back.
While she's getting that, Brian, why don't you tell us where you are?
Um, Coming out of a series of rapid fire project ending activities. So one of them, of course, is Daisy Art Parade. My studio is I've just started picking things up off the floor. So it looks like a bomb went off in there, and I went over the weekend, took like 4 or 5 bags of trash to the dumpster, and that feels good. I also picked up enough stuff from my storage floor so I could actually see the floor, and I started putting things away and organizing things. So it feels really good to start organizing again. I hate living in chaos. So it's I guess it's mostly a therapy stage for me to go through and see what is it I need to do. How do I get back to a place where I feel confident and comfortable that I have things where I need to find them, and that organizing gives me time to actually let ideas percolate. And so I think it's an important creative part of the process, which is maybe the preparation or post preparation, whichever it is. And once I get recharged again, then I usually just go forward full speed ahead again. But
Simone Patterson's eloquent on that,
yeah,
keeping your studio in good shape and cleaning it and what that does in the process. Yeah.
it feels
So
so good. Yeah.
so Sky, we saw the door. You want to describe it for us?
Yes, I went to Black Dog Salvage and found a cornice. It's a wooden cornice, and the swoon was in town at that time, and I found a few pieces here that kind of resemble that. This piece here was actually made by my daughter. It's a piece that I think that is can travel with Brian in the Art Rat Studios since everything is kind of moving, and he has to move because of Riverdale. So I wanted something strong enough that he can keep or be outside and not really, it can get rained on. It can take a few nicks or so, but yeah, that's little tiny door, magical funness. So that's it.
Thank you. I love it. Yeah.
It was so fun. Thanks, Brian.
And thanks for sharing that with us. Yeah.
Yeah,
Joy,
sure.
Joy, where are you tonight?
I am in my apartment with my little kitty who's always here. This is his little spot. And yeah, I had a really good, busy week. I got to co-lead circle singing at Compost Fest with Katie, and that went really well. Blessing the land and having fun with people. And then I did a new thing at Uttara Yoga Friday night called Vocal Liberation, where I kind of combined mindfulness and circle singing, and it went really well. So I'm gonna do that every month now. And I'm starting to get new voice students. That's been a new thing for me. So like I met a new student for the first time yesterday on Zoom, and she's a 13-year-old kid, and her mom and her met with me, and I'm gonna start teaching a kid next month. So I'm just like, yeah, excited about that. Yeah.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you.
Corey, where are you tonight? Oh, you're on mute if you're talking. Yeah.
Oh, I got it. So I was saying I'm in my living room right now. And so the thing I'm working on right now is a spot to promote the Roanoke Arts Commission that is going to be played on Radio Free Roanoke. And I have a friend who has a show there called Big Jams, Matt Shively, who he does things like rare tracks, deep cut, weird, psych rock, metal, smooth jams. I'm reading it actually off the website, but Matt's like a musical library, and I've known him ever since I was a kid. So it's like he can play like everything. He can play everything from sitar to 70s doom metal, Black Sabbath, stuff like that. And he is a weekend announcer at NPR, like with, I think it's WVTF 89.9. And there's like a country station in Rocky Mount somewhere. So he's all over the place. And he and I are working on a small, like a 30-second piece of audio that I think Heather and Bob are going to allow us to play for free on Radio Free Roanoke. And so I was learning how to record guitar with a metronome into my computer for pretty much the first time, and learning how to link up beats per minute and that kind of thing, because I'm emailing it to him, and he lives down at Smith Mountain Lake and I'm here in Roanoke. So we're supposed to have that done hopefully in the next couple days, and that'll be on Radio Free Roanoke.
Great. They put a lot of energy into that. It's a fun way to partner, a fun group to partner with. So I appreciate you doing that, exploring that.
Yeah, glad to.
Yeah. And then Katie, where are you tonight?
Hey everybody, I'm in my living room. Got a couple cats around me too. And yeah, I've been working on, like Joy said, some circle singing stuff, leading a circle at Compost Fest with Joy, and really just finding a lot of joy in merging arts with the food systems work that I do for my 9-to-5 job as well. So another thread is I received an artist action grant to help me build my capacity of exploring and supporting grief in community work as a way of an entry point into supporting each other and seeing what might move through us into creation just through the act of expressing grief and learning how to be with that in ourselves and how to meet that in the people in our communities and in our lives. And so I do want to invite you all. We have the workshop coming up June 1st and 2nd. We're not able to get the same place for both dates. So the first day is at Unity of Roanoke Valley, and the second day is at Fishburne Mansion. So I'll add a link in the chat there as well as our flyer. There's a cost associated with attending, but we have a couple scholarships available. So if this is something you're really interested in, reach out to us and we'll see if a scholarship is still available, but there are 2 left. So I know a number of folks in the artist community are joining, as well as folks that are connected with the Roanoke Carilion Center for Grief and Healing, but definitely cast out an invitation. So reach out if you have any questions and if you're interested, but I'll put that in the chat.
Great, thank you, Katie. Susie, where are you? Nope.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I've never done this on a cell phone before, so just bear with me. I'm actually on the upstairs level of, if you all know Bob Leonard, he's the director of the Directing and Public Dialogue program at Virginia Tech. I am in his upstairs. I'm upstairs in his house because I'm here for a graduation party. It's commencement season at Virginia Tech, and that is just a really intense time of year. So there's actually a graduation party down below my feet and I will be, and I'll be returning to it after this meeting. I like snuck away upstairs to take the meeting. So that's where I'm at tonight, is I'm in Blacksburg at a graduation party. But in terms of art wise, I just completed 2 huge art projects. One is with the Lyric Theater in Blacksburg, choreographing for their production classes. And we did our musical 2 weekends ago. It was called Imagine a Dragon. It was really cute and funny and like just a bunch of kids. It was great. And then the last art project, as Doug, you mentioned, I performed at the Art on First Book No Further collaboration gallery on Friday. My dance partner and I did a dance based off of Annie Woodford's Where You Come From Is Gone book, which is a series of poems based off of nostalgia, displacement, and adoration for Southwest Virginia. And we chose 2 poems. One is the title of the book, and then the other one is a poem about Roanoke. So we performed that on Friday night, and I am with the residency project. I'm working with Bob Leonard, who the house I'm in right now, with an activist at Virginia Tech named Victoria Ferguson. Her family was, she's a part of the Monacan tribe, and her family was subject to the Racial Integrity Act in the 1970s, and a play was written about her life. So I'm working with Katie and Doug and Bob Leonard and the playwright and Vicky herself, and we're trying to find a home for it in Roanoke. So I've been working on coordinating meetings and trying to, most of it I'm like mostly working on scheduling and doing producing work, which feels great and manageable. It's a very good job to have within my capacity right now. And I think that's what I've been working on.
Great, and it's one of those catalytic jobs too, right? And so that's really going to help this project come to life. Yeah. So thank you, Jane. Where are you at?
Hey guys, I'm actually sitting in my truck at McCadden Park. Just walked the dog, and I took today and yesterday to just like catch up on emails and catch up with receipts and paperwork stuff, and tomorrow is my day to go in the studio and clean it up, because everything from the Daisy Art Parade pretty much got plopped there after the 13th. So I got my work cut out for me tomorrow. But I'm looking forward to it because, you know, as Brian so eloquently said, it's a process. It's part of it, you know, and going back in there when everything's nice and clean again just feels like, you know, you've prepared the area to go into the next thing. So I've got lots of pans in the fire, and just trying to get my head to a place that's ready to dig in.
Great. And who's on the iPhone? Let's see. Is it? Well, let's see.
It's me. This
We'll go to
Antonio.
Amy.
Antonio.
Oh, is it Antonio? Hey, Antonio, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay, where are you at tonight? And that can be physically, and it can be spiritually, it can be the whole gamut. Where are you?
I'm actually sitting sitting on the steps of a church right now with my son, listening to the call. But I've been Jane and Polly had a meeting last week to put a event together at McCadden Park. And the event will be based around blessing of the land at McCadden Park. And I was thinking about making it a series of going to different places around the city to bless the land in a more of an alternative way of doing it. Adding other individuals who are into the healing arts, giving them opportunity to be a part of the ceremony. Also, I've been setting up a meeting with Molly from Leap next week to continue to work on the potential event in Hurt Park. And there's one other thing that I can't slip my mind because my son he's on 100 right now. But there's one other thing that I'm working on as well that's dealing with Katrina. Jane, I think either Jane or Polly had mentioned to me about Katrina. I think that's her name, Katrina, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Katrina. I reached out to Katrina about potentially helping her out with the mural by the Brown Robinson Park.
Great,
so we've been discussing about potential ideas of what we could do. And I was also thinking about how we could implement the Hope students the students that I'm working with for Virginia project for the Virginia Tech project. How can I help get them to help out with that particular initiative at Brown Robinson Park?
Terrific. Yeah, all of that is great. I'm looking forward to hearing more about the Hurt Park's going to be McCadden Park's going to be the first one.
June 12th.
It's going to be June the 12th.
June 12th. Great.
And thank you, Jane, for with the flyer and just helping out with recommendations and everything. Jane's been very helpful.
Absolutely. Share that flyer, Antonio, if you want.
Yeah, okay. Since you gave me the go, I will. I'll start sharing it.
And send it on, and I'll make sure it gets out to everybody too.
Oh, okay. Sounds good.
Great. Thanks, Antonio. Hey, Amy, where are you at? Amy McGinnis may not be where she can talk, or she was on mute and may not know it. And we'll see. Maybe she can't talk. I of course can't answer for her, but I know that she has had a lot going on with both the Art Space event, wrapping up the Art Space report. We've got that report. It should be coming out. You should see it coming out this week in a big email. And then talking about next steps along with Cody and Pedro and Johnny and Lisa Linger. All right. Well, Polly, you're in the room here. Where are you at? Well, I know where you're at physically. I can see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh boy, I'm just thrilled to hear of all the connections, all the work that's being done that actually fulfills the purpose of Arts Connect and this whole program, right?
Yeah.
So it's been amazing. I haven't been able to get to everybody else's projects, but I'm trying the best I can, and I've really enjoyed working with or attending Joy and Katie's song circles and the liberation process of using the voice, which is something that I've needed a long time. So I'm usually the one that's very afraid to speak. So I'm speaking more. And the David Rainey project was really beautiful. His work continues to inspire people to educate themselves and to use his stories and images as prompts for more storytelling and building relationships. I went to the Friends of the Washington Park meeting just before here. And they too are meeting and finding new ways of connecting and organizing, learning about how to develop programs or projects. While I was at the Melrose Library, I was taking pictures of all the different flyers because there's amazing things going on for kids and adults and youth programs, and the recording studio in the libraries, makes me remember, oh yeah, wonder if anybody wants to record Rainy stories or follow up on some of the stories that people wanted to share here in Roanoke. And yeah, there's just so many connections, and the Henry Street development in Gainsboro, people are still building and sharing ideas, and Jane upped my desire to do some staging on Henry Street, and so now we got some big ideas getting ready for the summer to promote people gathering there again in order to stimulate ideas, the hope and the dream of community building there. So yeah, I'm really thrilled, and the way I organize or clean up my studio is to plan for an event. So the Clean Valley Council is having a Rethink, Reuse, Recycle event on Saturday. So I offered to go and take all my trash and build some sculpture. So yeah. So yeah.
Excellent. So do you know what you're going to build yet, or is this something that comes to you on the spot?
It may come on the spot with others. I'll bring some large figurative examples that I've done, and then we'll see what kind of material ends up in front of us, and
yeah, great.
Start building.
Well, I don't know how she did it, but I was just sitting here, my watch just dinged. I'm sitting here looking at her, and my watch dinged. It was a text from her, and I didn't see her hands move. I don't know how that happened, but it was pretty amazing. So, Amy couldn't unmute. Oh, well, as soon as I was trying to read it, let me get that chat. Amy said she couldn't unmute. And she said, thanks for the ArtSpace ROA update. I'm enjoying time in my garden and looking forward to connecting about some creative opportunities at Riverdale, murals, perhaps plein air, maybe events. So keep your eyes open for that. And then Robin and Katrina have joined us. So Robin, where are you at? Or Katrina, whoever unmutes first. It's a race. It's a very slow race.
I am here.
Hey.
I am here. Good afternoon or good evening. I'm sorry I missed whatever the question that's posed tonight, but yeah, I'm here. I just got an exciting email from James Divers that I'm gonna shoot over to you, Doug, in a little bit, but hopefully some exciting things that we can make happen in Northwest. And yeah, I'm just really looking forward to kind of seeing some things unfold there. We've been kind of working on this Northwest collaborative, and it's kind of broken off into seeing what work we can get done or what kind of proposals we can develop behind the scenes, and then bringing something more concrete to the table. that we can work around as being like an actionable kind of thing. So I think one of the biggest takeaways from the meetings that we've had so far has been building back better. And so, it's a constant work in progress in all of our communities, whether we're in Northwest, Southwest, Northeast, Southeast, of just making our communities better than, for the generations that come, better than it was for the previous generation. And I think that we can do that through art-based initiatives. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to some collaboration in that regard. James has some big ideas, and though he doesn't live in the city, his roots are in the city. He was born and raised here in Roanoke. And I actually had a chance to see a mural over the weekend that plays into what he's been thinking about and dreaming about, which is to do large scale mural like pieces. And his mode that he wants to try this in is wheat paste. However, I did see a really big mural this past weekend that was in a glass window storefront. It was a series of murals, and they were all done on printed canvas and pasted into the windows, and then had additional painting on the exterior of the glass to kind of bring the piece even, bring it to life even more. So I'm just thinking, how cool would that be if we could have some of these pop up in storefronts for businesses who may not be eager to put something on their wall or on their facade, but maybe they would be inclined to put something up in their windows. So just thinking about different approaches to art that don't necessarily disrupt the buildings per se. But yeah, just thinking and dreaming and getting inspired by what I'm seeing in the world, and hoping to bring some of that to life this summer and fall, or summer and beyond, through various initiatives.
Great, great. Yeah, I love the wheat paste on the glass, and doing it on both sides. I hadn't pictured that with the depth. That's really interesting. And right before the pandemic, there was the artist at the Taubman who did wheat paste. No, he was at Hollins. I think he was out at Hollins, and he did like moths. And I was and I remember reaching out to him because I wanted to do one on the window here. But then the pandemic hit, and I don't think he even finished his project or his time in the community. But yeah, I love the exploration of that, especially in activating underused business buildings in business districts that might be vacant. There's a lot of potential there. I'm sure we'll have some good conversations about that. So thanks, Robin. Katrina, are you able to unmute?
Hi, everyone.
No.
So for me, I'm just currently working on getting together this project for the Greenway mural by the Lick Run Greenway. So I'm working on that right now. I'm just trying to get my sketch completed. Been keeping in touch with John as far as deadlines, and I'm hoping to get this pushed out by Friday, and by next Saturday, I'm hoping to get out with Simone and help out with the street mural.
Yeah. Great, great. And everybody, yeah, we didn't. So of course we didn't do the street mural on Saturday in the middle of all that rain, but we're going to do it this Saturday. And if you haven't registered to volunteer, if you're planning on volunteering, go on and register. It's online. Or just make sure we know that you're coming. Katrina, are you already registered?
Not yet. I have not. Saturdays are usually my days to work, so I'm trying to collaborate with my job right now to see if they can give me some volunteer hours.
Great, yeah. So if anybody's thinking or like on the fence and thinking about it, I know she's hoping folks will come in the morning, and she's hoping that, by people being out there on the street, that we'll get more neighborhood involvement for the afternoon. So people would see, like, because you know how it is sometimes. It's hard to imagine what it is, and it doesn't sound like fun, but then you see it and it looks like fun. So, so we look forward to seeing anybody who can be out there on Saturday. But I've been trying to track who can't come from the rain out, who said they could come and now can't come. But it looks like but Polly's one of those. Okay, that's right. You got another event. I'll make note of that, Polly. Thank you. And but we've got it looks like we're going to have a good group of people. And Samel and Phoenix they're lining up to entertain the young ones during pieces of this, so that because you have to be 18 to be on the street. But we're looking forward to it. We're all learning so much throughout all of this. I thank you for that as we went around and opened and shared. I just want to hit on a couple of things, and then we'll be done. One is the eye. So the eye is the planetarium at the Science Museum of Western Virginia. And, they raised money and they redid the planetarium. And so they've got this, it's kind of like, it's spherical, an orb, but it's a round or spherical screen or concave.
One or the other.
Yeah, concave screen. And it's really impressive. And they have an artistic director there. He's part-time. His name is Spat. And he worked at Tech in the ICAT space and is now kind of programming this. And they think there's real opportunity for artists to partner on creative projects with the technology.
Oh.
And they would love to have us come and meet with them next Tuesday night. But they said they could do it any Tuesday in May. I just said, well, let's do the second Tuesday. But I want to check in and see if folks can come in person next week. You want to give me a thumbs up if you think you're able to come in person?
At this time?
At this time was maybe, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great. So we'll have a good, that's excellent. And we'll put word out, and maybe I'll do a little, like some imagery. Oh, look at all those thumbs. That's
I don't know why. I just found that.
So I'll get more information to you, but really, 7 o'clock, we'll meet there at Center in the Square. It's on the 4th floor. Mary and they've got a couple of staff folks who talk with us, and I think there's a lot of possibility around that. So, and I think, and the Science Museum is doing some creative thinking on their role. And what they're going to do. So I think we're going to see some fun stuff happening. Susie, did you have a question, or was that okay? Oh,
no,
okay.
But I am familiar with ICAT, and
Yeah.
ICAT does some of the coolest programming, and they are really about innovative collaborations between artists and technology. Even if you've never dabbled in that before, like how does emerging fields of technology interact? And they are all about local. ICAT specifically reserves programming for local artists. And I just think that, some of the coolest work I've seen in Virginia has been at ICAT. So I just wanted to throw that out there as being really exciting.
What does that stand for, Susie?
Innovative Creative Arts and Technology, I think.
Okay. Is that at Virginia Tech?
Yeah, it's part of the Moss Arts Center. It's their, there's the main programming in the Moss Arts Center, and then off to the left, they have what's called the Cube, and ICAT lives in the Cube, but they also have a lot of visual art classes that they do specifically around technology and arts, specifically intersections of technology and arts making. They're cool.
Very nice.
So exactly the same kind of spirit, and they're working with them. Their technology here is just a little different because it's the orb or whatnot, and so that's how they see themselves as different. And the Science Museum, they have a long track record of partnering with Virginia Tech anyway. And I think, yeah, I think we'll have fun. So I'll look forward to seeing everybody who can in person next week. So that's one thing. I have kind of started doing that course that is it called ICAT too? What's it called?
It's ITAC.
ITAC, yes,
Yeah.
backward. So I started doing that first session, and I think I'm going to I think I'm going to stick with it and enjoy it. I wanted to see if anybody else is started to do it or is interested in doing that course along with some of us if we do it. So Joy.
Are you talking about the teaching artist thing?
Yeah, the teaching, yeah.
I'm actually, I just want to let you know, I'm actually advising my student who's in Germany she's in between, and she's been offered a teaching art position in Germany. So I'm definitely, she came to my talk on Monday, so she's gonna participate in that too.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Yeah, so we got 4 or 5 people. We'll spend a little bit of time catching up on that, just part of the time on the third Tuesday. And then I wanted to make sure that was working for folks. And then on the 4th Tuesday, there were a few things happening in town. That's the 28th, and one of them is the Grandin Theater's Film Lab. And the young people, it's a really neat program. And the young people, it's they each write scripts, and they choose scripts to produce, and then they play roles in it. So somebody's a producer, somebody's a director, somebody's in charge of sound, etc. And they do this every year. This is the 8th year of it. And so it'll be the Grandin Theater. It's $7. I really like to go and support it and cheer on the kids. So anybody who wants to join in, please do that. We won't do a Zoom, anything else that night. Or there's also, if somebody's more interested in a lecture on the history of Roanoke, Nelson Harris has his book about the 50s that's just coming out, and he'll be doing a lecture at the Christ Lutheran Church there in Raleigh Court that night too. So those are the things coming up. I do want to mention too the Arts Connect Neighbors catalog. Molly, I went out and I saw Molly a couple of weeks ago. Feels like a long time ago, but it wasn't that long. Molly was making fairy villages, and this was in partnership with the library. And the library asked about having Molly there, and I said, well, Molly's envisioning this as kind of a camp over 4 weeks. It's a little different than the kind of a drop-by art activity. And I wanted to make sure the library was kind of reaching out and having a relationship with the neighborhood organizations that are around them. And Tony, the librarian, was terrific about saying, yeah, I'll go talk to the neighborhood groups. And then she broke her arm. She did it, and then she broke her arm immediately after. But she really pulled together a nice event after having a pretty serious injury. But one thing she had there was Molly, and I wanted to ask Molly if she talked to us a little bit about her experience being there with her catalog activity.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. It was all kind of an experiment for me going in, because I didn't know, is this going to be mostly adults? Is it going to be mostly children? I probably should have assumed that it was mostly children. And it was. And I learned a lot about how to cater this activity to different groups of people. And I got to see that play out in real time, which was really cool. I saw that the kids, they really gravitated towards kind of a pre-made structure where they were able to visualize it right away and start adding to it. And they made the coolest things doing that. And then the adults were able to handle something that was a little bit more abstract to start. And I was just like, okay, I'm seeing how I can do this for different groups, it worked to do it as a short workshop. It was fine. I was a little worried about it, but it was fine. And I actually ran out of materials. I think near the end, I was sweating it a little because there were still lots of people coming up that wanted to engage in it. And I was kind of trying to like makeshift things and here, try putting this together. And they still came up with really cool things. So I'm excited to do this with all different types of people. And if somebody comes to you guys again saying like, hey, we don't want to do the whole thing, I can handle that now. I know how to do that. And if they are wanting to do the whole thing, I'm really excited about that because now I have a way better idea of how we're going to do this. And I just was so thrilled with the results. Like I was looking at some of these kids' fairy houses like, dang, I didn't think about that. That's really neat. Adults too. And I was really impressed with how long it held people's attention too. Like I had one woman that her kid was not really into it, but she must have come back like 5 times to try to finish her own fairy house. It was so cute. She was just so into it. And it was quite a few adults that ended up sitting down and getting really sucked in and having to have like their kid go do something else with another adult for a minute. And that was lovely to see. It was great to see people engaging with nature. I think when I started running out of stuff, a few people went outside and collected things, which is kind of like what I wanted the workshop to be. So it was, yeah. And I had quite a few people that were with, I think they were Grandin's Neighborhood Association they said they're having a vote on multiple catalog projects. So I was in there, but they had a lot that they're looking at. So that's exciting for everyone.
Excellent. Yeah. We appreciate you being out there. And I was watching, I went through a few times that day and I know Catherine was running around.
Yes, Catherine showed up too.
I just came as a guest. I was excited to see you there. Hey, I have a question while we got everybody. Before we turn the page, for me personally, on the Daisy Art Parade, I still can't remember what we pinned down. I have a lot of good photos that I put on Facebook, but I also have a bunch on my phone. And I'm wondering if we've decided, like, do you need these pictures? And if you do, where should I send these images to just document my experience for this year? So whatever planning you do next year, if you need any of these images, how should I send them to you? Did we decide that already?
You're on mute.
Hi, I think Cody had a really good idea for a Dropbox. Now, how a Dropbox works and how you can get stuff there, that's kind of above my pay grade on it. So if you just want to email them to me, Catherine, I'll take them that way. I know that's kind of old school, but
yeah, but we are old school, so I'll do that.
Yeah, we are old school. And
Okay.
that's much appreciated. And then what I did last year, if you remember, I don't know if you saw it, but I put together a photograph, 10 by 8 photographs in a booklet. And at workshops, I let people sit down and look through last year's things.
Yeah.
It was really great. Yeah.
All right, I'll do that.
The visuals really help explain better than words what's going on and how does this work. So thank you.
I want to say a quick shout out to Jane and Polly. Just feeling really supported by fellow artists coming to offerings that we provided. And at the Circle Singing, for instance, Jane, you took an awesome video of us and put it on Facebook and got some really great pictures. And that was something I was like, oh, we need pictures, but I'm in the circle. How is this going to work? And I just really appreciate you both for showing up and just offering without even needing to be asked. So thank you.
Yeah, it's very nice. The Dropbox thing, Catherine, you can also, if you have a Dropbox or if you have a place, you can send him a link and he can download them as well. If you need any help on that side, let me know. If you need me to set something up.
I usually do need help with anything technical, so I'll give it a try. But maybe
Okay.
I'm sure not the only one. I know a lot of people had photos, so it may be something that we might want to, once we do decide, maybe mention that in the newsletter before we catch up. You know, I just feel like for me, the next wave of exciting adventures, I don't want this to get forgotten and then go, oh, what I do with those photos? I forgot to send them, you know?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good
Can I
point
say
too.
something?
Yeah, please.
Two things. Catherine, I could use any shots you got of the Northwest cruise.
Yeah, I
'cause
do.
I don't have good documentation of that, and I really need it. And the other thing is, I just sent out yesterday that you can create an album in your iPhone and then share that album with Brian or me, and they'll magically appear on our phones.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, you may have to sit down with me and show me how to do that, but I will do my best with that.
Jane,
Yeah.
Jane, I was gonna say if you want to create the album and invite me, I have some of the Northwest crew too, and I can dump them, and you can maybe add Brian to it, and we can just dump it that way. That way it'll just be one album.
Okay, that sounds good.
Excellent. And then I might need it. I've done that before, but I did it by accident. So I'm not trying to find my way back to it.
You can send the whole album? Wait till you see
Yeah.
my album, sure love it.
And then it's also a good lesson for our Arts Connect Neighbors catalog. And we do want to be getting pictures. There are report forms that have been set up. Katie's done an amazing job. We're starting to track. We have 21 events that have been lined up right now, or 21 activities. And so some of those are a couple of activities at one event. So those are some have happened, some are happening. We are inviting all of the artists and the neighborhood leaders to fill out a form afterwards, so we can learn lessons and upload pictures and such. And it's a pretty simple form, but we want to start tracking, and and Katie's helping us think through our tracking and our evaluation. And I went through and looked at and met earlier today with somebody at the city about our outcomes for this, because we really do want to intentionally connect it with neighborhood planning. And that's where we're headed now. All of the artists in residence that are kind of general artists in residence this year, we even last year we had aligned some with neighborhoods. Everybody's kind of lining up a little bit more with neighborhoods now. This next year, the artists in residence are really going to be funded through the Daisy Art Parade grant, and everybody's going to be focused on these emerging neighborhoods. That's where we're headed. So we really hope we're starting to engage the neighborhood leaders when they pick out something in the catalog that we're asking them those harder questions. What are you trying to do as a neighborhood? So we're getting them thinking, even understanding that that's what this is about. And so that when next year, I think in the fall, maybe the fall of this year, they're going to say, okay, well, here's the first neighborhood we're going to do our neighborhood planning with again. It's been 14 years or so, I think, since they've done neighborhood planning. And we're going to be there alongside them saying, okay, well, the arts are happening up front. Getting the neighborhood together, singing or painting something or doing something, that's part of the process. And so we'll see how that, I think it's going to be tremendous. But again, we are on a long-term path here. The relationships that we're building with each other, the relationships that are happening in the neighborhoods, we're going to keep doing this. I can feel it happening. At the same time that I'm anxious and it's that we're I want that immediate gratification and I want to see things happen now. It is happening now. One thing that we do want to get some more marketing out, and I wanted to figure out a way to do that my first thought is social media, and also creating some tools, some better looking tools that we can use on promoting things. I say that at the same time that I have a hard time with social media. It depresses me. It does something to me, and I don't enjoy it. But at the same time, Ancy Hodge, who helped us create the catalog, I talked to them last week. I said, this is what we're trying to do. We want to get the word out more. They are real fans of social media and using that as a push. And I think they've offered for one of their staff people to give us a little help, and just kind of thinking it through, giving us some best practices and tips. And then we can organize a little bit more around it. But I do know sometimes part of what has depressed me is that every time I share, there's somebody out in the community that shares it again and says negative things about it. And that's never fun. But I think we can overwhelm that with more positivity if we do it kind of strategically. We don't have to be on social media all the time, but there might be do some targeted things that really get it out there. So if you're willing to join in with me on that, I'm finding out when they're available. It'll probably be during the daytime. We might record it since I know not everybody's available, but we might do a little workshop, do it virtually like this, or have some people here around the room too, if they want to bring their laptops, and we can maybe have a little bit of fun, learn something, and try something new. And then I know it's also possible that we hire somebody who has that specific focus for us as well, or pay. And when I say hire somebody, I mean get an artist who's interested in learning that and polishing those skills and giving them some resources to do it. Katie.
Thanks, Doug. One other thing, when you were talking about folks that are in the catalog and the reporting form, it's really simple, and I just wanted to uplift. Just remember to take pictures. Remember to count how many people are at your activity if you're able to, and then work with the event organizer if it's something larger to have the count of the entire event. But usually they're going to be filling that out too, and they might have that. But those are the 3 things to really think about. And then there are a couple of reflection questions. But at the event, just be thinking about counting people and taking pictures.
Terrific. Great points. And I'll point to Caroline Booth, who is a skydiving artist. I think it's her Gmail account. She is doing the free little art galleries. That's what she wants to do. And she has so wanted to do it. And she's been talking to people. She talked to Old Southwest. Old Southwest said, yeah, we're interested in doing that. But we need, we're not sure we can manage it. We're a busy organization. We don't know if we can manage it. So there have been some changes that, some thinking. We're like, okay, can it go on public property? Does it need to go on private property? Who manages it over the first year? While we might need a little bit of help, Caroline said, well, okay, I can manage it over the first year, and then we'll reassess. And the city has been great. Parks and Recreation said, yeah, we'll provide you some support, and we'll get it put up there, and we'll put it in the park. And if after a year it's not being managed well, we'll have to take it down. But that's just part of it. So I think it goes back to Molly's as well. Even though we thought of something that's in the catalog and we thought of it this way, it's changeable. If it like Molly's, if it's a 4-day thing, we thought it was going to cost this. Well, okay, we're going to do it for 1 day. We'll figure out what the right amount is, and we'll pay that way. I wanted to do this neighborhood work because that's what we're measuring. We're going to be measuring how many neighborhoods are re-energized by this. So I didn't necessarily want to just do an event in a library, but Molly had the catalog sitting there. Molly was talking to people about it, and they were like, okay, well, we're voting, and I'm going to vote for this. So it's starting conversation around it. So if you're in the catalog and if you see an opportunity, feel free to help make those connections. It might feel a little bit like you're marketing it, or talk to me about it, about switching something, and let's make it happen. We do want these things. I want everybody to be out there doing doing their event. Oh, I want to go to the Pluckers where I saw the word ice cream and treat all there in one chat, and I'm ready to come out there and do it, do this ice cream. So thank you, Catherine.
Yeah, I've mentioned it to a couple of folks that everyone's busy, but I think it'd be fun. And they're so organized and they've already got a plan to go to all the different neighborhoods. So if we can just follow along and at the end of their cleanup, treat them to ice cream and invite folks from the neighborhood to come and have some ice cream. And that'd be a great way to kind of be on the spot in the different neighborhoods and have the catalogs and talk to them about it and have them know who, even making a personal connection with somebody that really helps them. I think feel it's
that's great. Let me know what you need, or if you need me to come out with a cooler of ice cream, I know how to do that.
Do, but maybe think about it.
Yeah. And then what was I about? I was going to say one final close. Oh, the final closing thing was May 19th. It's a Sunday, I think. May 19th. I don't know.
It's a Sunday.
Okay, Sunday at 2:30, May 19th is going to be the Southeast Mosaic Meetup, where they're going to celebrate their the new sign with the revitalized sign there at Bennington Trailhead, there at 13th Street in the Greenway. So mark that down if you're available. And with that, is there anything else we need to hit tonight before we close up shop?
Doug, I have a question for you, but everybody else doesn't have to be here for it. If you want to go ahead and
then we'll everybody go, and I'll hang on.
Yeah. Okay, that works.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll go ahead and I'll stop the recording. Well, thank you, everybody. Hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.